Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit different because I don't have the classroom in front of me, so you're not going to be able to hear the kids interacting with me or with the lesson, but you've got me and we've got our lesson, so we are ready to go. So today we're going to talk about solving two-step equations. Our focus has been on expressions, and then for the past 2 weeks, one-step equations. So when we did one-step equations, we did one operation or one inverse operation to undo what was happening to the variable. Because we're now working with two-step equations, we're going to do two separate operations to get that variable by itself. Again, that's the most important part of solving equations, is to get that variable by itself. So we are still in topic 5. We are going to be using our books later in the week, so make sure you have those handy. This is in volume 2. So we have previously been working in volume 1. We're going to move to volume 2. So to solve two-step equations, we use the inverse or the opposite operations on both sides of the equation. So the first thing we do is we use addition or subtraction to isolate the variable part. Okay? So this is going to be the example we're working with. And you can see it's 2x minus 7 equals 15. I drew my upside down t. 2x is being subtracted by 7. So the inverse of subtracting by 7 would be adding 7. Again, whatever I do on the left, I need to do on the right side of the equation. So once I do that, my 7s, that's my 0 pair. Okay, that's what we're looking for. And this 2x comes down. 15 plus 7 is 22. So then the second, we use multiplication or division to isolate the variable. Okay? So these are two different things. We isolate the variable part, and now we're just isolating the variable. Isolating the variable part, now we're going to isolate the variable. So 2 is being multiplied by x. The inverse of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So you can see here, 2 divided by 2, whatever I do on the left, I do on the right. 22 divided by 2. My 2 divided by 2, that gives me my 1. That's my one coefficient that I look for when I'm solving my equations for with multiplication or division. And then 22 divided by 2, that's going to be your 11. Okay, so again, first we use addition or subtraction. Okay, so we're going to add or subtract. If we see addition, we're going to subtract that value. If we see subtraction, we're going to add that value. And then the second, we use multiplication or division. Okay? So first add or subtract, second multiply or divide. So let's go ahead and get started on some examples. Today we are only going to focus on multiplication. We are not going to focus on division problems today. We will do division problems tomorrow. So these blue boxes, again, as usual, they're text boxes. So as you're following along, you can type in with your values here. Okay? So we have 5x plus 3 equals 28. Okay? So again, first we add or subtract. So we look for addition or subtraction. 3 is being added to our variable term. So what's the opposite of adding 3? Subtracting 3. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 3 from our left side, and we're going to subtract 3 from our right side. 3 minus 3, that's our 0 pair. That's what we're looking for. And as you can see, this 5x then comes down. We do the same operation on our right-hand side. 28 minus 3, that gives us 25. Okay, so right here, this is our first step. We add or subtract to get the variable part by itself. 5 is being multiplied by x. So the inverse of multiplying by x would be dividing by x. Now on your computers, you're going to use the backslash button and 5. Backslash button and 5 so you can see that division. 5 divided by 5, that's our 1. So our x comes down, and then 25 divided by 5 is 5. So the solution to our equation is x equals 5. Now we got that by isolating our variable part, and then our second step, isolating our variable. So let's go ahead and check our answer. We know that that's just as important as everything else that we do. So we rewrite our our equation. And then we plug in our variable. So we got x equals 5. So 5 times 5 plus 3 equals 28. Now, following the order of operations, we have to multiply. So 5 times 5 is 25. And then 25 plus 3 is 28. Okay. So again, this here for us, this helps us check our answer to make sure that we were correct. So again, first step, add or subtract. Second step, multiply or divide. And today we're going to just focus on that division piece because we're only working on multiplication problems. Okay, so our next one, -3 minus 7 equals 29. Okay, so you can see here, we've got a negative coefficient and we're subtracting 7. So negative 3x minus 7. So 7 is being subtracted from 3x. What's the opposite or the inverse of subtracting? Adding, very good. So we're going to add 7 to left and to the right. Make sure that you're mirroring in these boxes. That's why we do our upside down T. So whatever we do on the left, we also do on our right. So 7 and 7, okay, that's our zero pair. Okay. Negative 3x comes down. 29 plus 7, 36. Okay. So now, we've done step 1, we've gotten rid of our addition or subtraction. Now we're looking at step 2. Okay. So -3 is being multiplied by x. The inverse of multiplying by -3? Dividing by -3. So divide by -3. And if I divide by -3 on this side, I'm also going to divide by -3 on this side. So -3 divided by -3, that's our 1 coefficient, and we bring our x down. And then 36 divided by -3. Positive divided by negative is negative. 36 divided by 3 is -12. So again, first step, add or subtract. Second step, multiply or divide. So again, to check it, rewrite, plug in, and then do the math. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 12. 36. Bring down the rest of the equation. 36 minus 7 is 29. Okay, so I want you to take a minute and I want you to try to do this problem on your own. 8x minus 2 equals -26. I want you to solve for x, and then I want you to check your solution, please. go ahead and pause your video if you are not ready to have the solution of this problem. Okay, so 8x minus 2 equals to negative 26. So again, first step, take care of addition or subtraction. Okay? 2 is being subtracted, so the opposite of subtracting 2 would be adding 2. And if you add it to the left, you also need to add it to the right. Negative 2 plus 2, that's your zero pair, and you can see that 8x comes down. Negative 26 plus 2, different signs, so we need to subtract. 26 minus 2 is 24. And then because 26 has a larger absolute value, our answer is going to be negative. Our second step, take care of addition or subtraction. 8x equals negative 24. So 8 is being multiplied by x. The inverse of multiplying by 8 would be dividing by 8. So if I divide by 8 on the left, I'm also going to divide by 8 on the right. 8 divided by 8, cancel each other out because 8 divided by 8 is 1, and you can see my x variable comes down. And then negative 24 divided by 8, negative divided by positive is a negative. 24 divided by 8 is 3. So the solution, and the solution you should have gotten, is x equals negative 3. So to check your answer, 8x minus 2 equals negative 26. So we rewrite the equation, plug in, and then we do the math. 8 times negative 3 negative 24 minus 2 is negative 26. We've checked out. I want you to go ahead and do the next slide, slide 6, all on your own, please. Pause your video until you're ready for the answer. So again, hopefully you have unpaused your video because you are ready for the answer. Negative 11 plus 6 equals positive 61. So you can see here there's a lot less boxes for you. So hopefully you realize that there are less boxes for you and that you had to fill those in yourself. So negative 11x plus 6. Our variable term is being added by 6. So the inverse of adding 6 is subtracting 6. So if I subtract 6 on the left, I need to also subtract 6 on the right. 6 minus 6, there's our zero pair. So my variable term now comes down. 61 minus 6 is 55. So now our variable term, we have to only get our variable by itself. So negative 11 times x. Negative 11 is being multiplied by x, so the inverse of multiplying by negative 11 would be dividing by negative 11. So if I divide the left, I also need to divide the right. Negative 11 divided by negative 11, I'm left with x. 55 divided by negative 11 is negative 5. So the solution to our equation is x equals negative 5. When I go to check that, whoops, hard to read that. Rewrite it, plug in my value. Now we do the math. Again, follow your order of operations. Negative 11 times negative 5 is 55, plus 6 equals 61. 55 plus 6, 61. So again, left side equals my right side, and I'm ready to check out. The rest of the slides have to do with our lesson for tomorrow, so you can just keep those for tomorrow, and I hope that you get a chance to do your homework, which is also attached to your Google Classroom. Have a great day, everybody.